happy to see your face.
Let me see it. Your name is, according to my notes, Candi Carpenter, professional yodeler singer. Is that right? That is so ridiculous. I love it that you are like a professional yodeler singer. That's not talked about enough.
I feel like it's talked about more than it ought to be.
Maybe for your next tour, like an encore, maybe we can do like a B stage, like going to the crowd like Taylor Swift, and you just kind of come out from underneath and just yodel.
You know, I still have the outfit, right?
I did not know that.
I do. I have a cow print hat, a cow print vest, a cow print skirt, and both of the trophies from that picture of me with the braces.
Yeah, classic. And you have the skill. So, I mean, listen, it's not me to consult on your upcoming North American / European world tour, but I am consulting.
Actually, that I would come to you for that. I think that is maybe not your best advice. But listen, I'm not against it. Yodeling is one of those skills you spend a lot of time learning, and then you find out that it does not come in handy in life in any way.
Really?
There's not really a lot you can do with yodeling. Stuck up a tree, you can't yodel at it and get it down.
You can't get like a tax refund for yodeling, right? Nothing.
Oh, not that I know of, but I've also never checked.
There we go. Candi Carpenter. By the way, Demonology, kind of like, you must be so proud. Like, what a little masterpiece that you created with Demonology. The first part, too.
So, earlier when I got up, I went to get this.
Oh, okay. So for my audio audience that doesn't know what they're seeing, it's a classic photo that we actually have in our studio here as well. Look at that. See, we love each other. And it shows Candi and I just being friendly in a photo booth in a bar in East Nashville. What the photo doesn't show is that I had pressured Candi tremendously to take this photo, and she was trying to run away from me. But
I don't know why for like an artist.
Yeah,
I sure do hate being perceived.
Right.
Don't love my photo take. I don't know. I really love music. I love writing music and singing and performing. But like, if I could do that in a dark room or no one ever saw me, that would be ideal.
Yeah. It's best we start spreading the word that fans cannot look at you in the eyes, as you start touring more. Just so it's out there, just so it's not as a surprise that, if Candi's coming, just don't have eye contact with her, and we will all be, there'll be no incidents.
They're more than welcome to look into my eyes. As you know, I was diagnosed with autism in December of last year, and I've always struggled with eye contact. So whether or not I will be in a place where I can gaze lovingly back into their eyes remains to be seen, depending on the time of day. Sometimes I can do it, but I do find that when I'm overwhelmed, my eyes go to the floor first thing.
So there's a couple things here, Candi. First of all, welcome to the show, Candi Carpenter, officially, because, you've only been here once, but I remember that was one of our most popular episodes that year. People just kept like sending notes and emails for like a month and a half straight after that. You were like so open. Yeah, it was great.
Well, and we just connected so much, and I thought, this is someone I want to be friends with. This is someone who's going to be in my life for a long time. There was just something so special about that conversation. It really felt like making a friend. And I'm really happy I had the chance to be on your show exactly when it happened, because I think it was the first time I'd really shown up as myself for an interview.
It was beautiful.
It was a really special day for me.
It was beautiful. And I'm so proud of the person that you've become. You're like a really cool, evolved Pokemon right now, and you're like a cool one. You're not like coughing or anything like that, or wheezing or one of those, that it's like you evolve and it's like, wait, I just have another head. No, you're like a really beautiful, one of the new ones, like a Game Boy cover, You know
I
what?
would love to have another head. That would be badass. So,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you want to be wheezing and coughing and I'm showing my nerdom here. Oh,
but I had another head. If that head had vocal cords and its own neck and throat, I could harmonize with myself and be my own family band.
yeah. But you have really come like I'm so just proud of the growth you've had, Candy, as a person, as a friend, artistically, and having like a front row seat, like watching you grow. It actually kind of inspires me. Like once in a while, I'll be like buying a smoothie in the store, trying to push off a tourist, and I'll be like, hey, Candy's inspiring me today. Gotta keep growing, as the tourist keeps asking me what the best bar in Broadway is. Uh,
What, I've inspired you to stay home more?
a little bit. But gosh, Kathy, but okay, like I have so much, like the audience has so many questions. Okay, the autism part. How did this come about, Kathy? Because this was a pretty major breakthrough. Uh, it was like you said, like a year and a half ago, and I know that cost you like a little bit of like meditation, how you were gonna kind of like go forward.
Yeah, that was like I don't think I've really processed how major that was. Um, because as you know, I've been on a mental health journey my whole life. I've been trying to learn more about myself and discover what makes me tick and what's going on. I always knew there was something different about me. I needed more recovery time. I had an overwhelming amount of anxiety. I've always struggled with things like eye contact, but the biggest thing that I've struggled with in my life has been figuring out who I am and what my identity is and being able to show up as that. My partner Alden for years would say, just be yourself. And I had no idea what that meant because I literally thought that every single person in the world had an avatar that they'd created, that they showed up as when they went out into the world, and that no one was being themselves ever, really.
Okay.
And
So you're telling me that that's not the situation?
I don't know.
Thanking you. No, just kidding. But yeah.
But I thought I was just really bad at it because I would watch interviews back and I would go way too over the top. I would be like, just not myself. I didn't look like myself. I wasn't acting like myself, and I couldn't connect who I was at home to who I was in public. And when I was performing and when I was writing, I was always trying to play a character. It's called masking. I've been doing it my whole life, trying to appear normal enough to not get made fun of. I've been doing that since elementary school. And I think growing up in the entertainment industry intensified that.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
There's just an element of masking that comes along with performing. Like if you're in a terrible mood, you can't go up on stage and go like, I feel horrible today.
Right.
So yeah, I
Unless they're like Axl Rose, or something like that. But yeah, most people, that is the good to it.
well, you know what? I would go on stage now and say I'm feeling terrible today. If I really was feeling terrible, I would share that. And the version of me showing up on stage 10 years ago would have been smiling as hard as they could to keep anyone from figuring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, writing this album really helped me unlock the mystery of what was going on with me. I was diagnosed with ADHD. I learned so much about it because of the similarities with ADHD and with neurodivergence in general. Reading more and more about autism, I looked at Alden one day and I said, I think this is me. And usually he would have gone, I don't think so. That doesn't feel right. And he went, oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Alden is my partner. We've been together for 8 years. He knows me better than I know myself sometimes. And getting that validation from him, not that I needed it to know myself, but having someone who looks at me every day immediately resonate with that as well. It was incredibly healing and validating. And then I did go forward with a formal diagnosis, which I received in December. So it's autism and ADHD.
And the new songs, I mean, talk about this like really great, and you bring out some really amazing songwriting to the equation that like you literally take us to an Olive Garden. Like for example, like it's like we feel like we're like eavesdropping. You know, it's like we're shadowing like a teenage awkward moments. But what's cool, Candy, is the comments on about the songs. I mean, that's what's I mean, you know, I stay with the silly stuff, but in the comments, there's a lot of younger people, younger fans that are being deeply touched by your lyrics. Like, right, that's gonna be super cool.
It means everything to me to be this vulnerable with a new audience because I did change genres. It to share these pieces and parts of myself that I had kept hidden under shame from growing up in the church, under shame from not understanding my identity in so many ways. Like this acceptance has caused more growth in me than anything else that I've ever been through. I mean, it's been the best time in my life
Yeah.
to not be rejected for being me.
Of course. No, and just watching you perform live recently, the way you're moving on stage, the way you're beaming, it's something to behold. And like, I encourage anyone that can to see you live right on this new era because it's phenomenal. And Kathy, speaking of the changing of the genre, like that took balls, and I don't mean literally, of course, but balls that I don't know if I would have to do. I mean, you are talking about, obviously we talked last episode that you were here about your chapters in Nashville and country music, and you were, a household name that you still like in country music, and you kind of still are, I guess. And to make that change to this incredible indie genre that you did, and you're doing it a great job also, but like just that bravery. First of all, was that scary? And two, like why did you end up gravitating to like indie pop, indie rock?
I think it's fair to say I've been terrified for the last few years because of the subject matter of this album, mostly because of the songs I wrote about my family. Because the goal of Demonology is not to hurt anyone. It's not to just air our dirty laundry. The goal in writing this album was to heal and to discover myself. The concept was that I was going to study my personal demons by writing these songs, and that each song represented a personal demon. And as I peeled back the layers of my trauma, I realized a lot of that pain came from growing up in the church, came from growing up as the child of a pastor, from some unresolved issues with my family. And it hurt. It hurt to feel alone in that and then feel afraid to talk about it. My mom and dad feel they're not going to listen to the project. But I've noticed our relationship improving so much since I did write these songs because I'm not quietly resenting them for feeling like I can't be me. And there's a lot of neurodivergence in my family. And I feel like uncovering that has helped me get closer to them as well. We're really looking at ourselves. I think there will come a day where they can listen to these songs and know that I was coming at it from a place of love. Because I do love them. I am who I am because I grew up the way I did, and that's why I'm able to write these songs and share these stories and hopefully help people. And I'm thankful for that opportunity. But changing genres felt like losing a piece of myself. I wanted to be Leanne Rimes. I mean, that's why I learned to yodel. I wanted to be a country music singer when I was a kid. When I started writing the album, I noticed that I wasn't making country choices with the lyrics, with the melodies. And I love country music and always will. But, I'm not sure there's a place for Let me rephrase this. I'm a non-binary, autistic, ex-evangelical singer-songwriter. I'm not sure country radio is ready for that.
Well, if you put it that way.
But the world is ready for people who are just being themselves, and we need more of it. And I want to be one of those people.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, listen, you may not be country radio right now, but you are sure as heck Sirius XM, all, the polls all the time. You're in all the top playlists, emerging pop, emerging, so it is, like, you are kicking ass. You're just not, in the
I would
same
I would love to make a country album someday, but my home right now is indie pop and the stuff I grew up listening to secretly, because
Yeah.
country radio was too edgy. Or sorry, pop and rock radio was too edgy for my family, and country radio was the most wholesome genre according to my parents. So that's why we chose that for me.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe down the line you can come back home if the genre has evolved or be more open and you can bring like a new energy, a new kind of thing to it. Who knows? Never say never, but super.
Well, I'm producing an EP on my friend Danny Rose right now. Actually, I just came in from the studio.
Okay,
We're-
because I thought you were pointing out like your iMac from like 1999.
Yeah.
For my audio audience, I feel like I'm interviewing Candi in a bedroom in 1997, because all the items there are late 90s. The books, the artwork, and behind her is what was the name of that Apple computer?
This is an iMac, yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that had the colors, right?
Yeah, it's blue on the side.
It's blue. So Candi just pointed at the computer and said she was producing for Danny Rose, who's been on our show, great girl. And we were like, wow, we didn't think that thing could produce.
Well, I was pointing at the door, which it is though. But yeah, that did make me look like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't.
What's that?
And it might be true.
Yeah, it might be true. But by the way, how is producing? Are you liking it?
I love it. I co-produced my album. I co-produced Demonology Part 1, which is out now, and the second half, which will be out later. And I'm co-producing this as well with Danny and Alden Witt and Aaron Kessler.
So is being a producer, Candi, like if you were to explain it to like a 3-year-old, is it just like a person in the room that is not emotionally attached saying, no, too much of that, get out of here, go eat, stop, like what is a producer to a 3-year-old?
Well, I think it depends on the producer. I try not to upset the artist, too much, unless it's going to be great for the performance. I really love working with my friends. Danny and I have been friends for years, and I know her, so I know kind of where she is emotionally. I mean, and maybe I'm wrong. I'm always guessing, but knowing her like I do and having this relationship, I feel like I can push her, hopefully in kind ways, but like a friend would, and get that emotional, raw honesty out of her. But she's such an incredible talent that it's an easy job. She's an incredible vocalist. She has such a strong vision for what she wants to do, both musically and visually, and it's a treat and an easy job with her.
Right. And speaking of us visually, and thank you for your time, Candi. I'll leave you with one question because I think you're gonna perform, but I don't want to take away all your voice. I don't want you to sound like Burt Bacharach the next couple of weeks of your shows.
Hey, if I wouldn't argue with being Burt Bacharach. That sounds like a good life to me.
I don't know if that's what the OG basement for your show was expecting. Like Mike Grimes when they introduce you and you come out there like Burt. But that would be a nice catch. You're like, oh, you guys didn't know? I'm Tony Bennett now.
My show, I'm just gonna come out and pretend to be someone else and do the whole show that way and make everyone really uncomfortable.
fantastic. Well, you are really good at making people, at least making me uncomfortable. So just
Oh,
keep
thank you. It's the nicest thing you've ever done to me.
Well, Candy, speaking of visuals, gosh, the visual for Demonology, I can't leave this interview without just raving about it, because I don't even need to like steal 90s Showtime or HBO anymore to see shitty, like horror movies, because I have like incredible production value with your TikToks that you're doing with your partner. I mean, we have brains, we have vampires in bathtubs, we have all sorts of visual, like you're killing it with the visual department.
I love building worlds. And when I write a song, I visualize a music video in my head. I kind of can't help it. So making sure every aspect of the visuals for this project was just as weird and out there as I am was important to me. Alden, my partner, I keep pointing back here because he is outside in the studio in the backyard. He plays the love interest in all these videos, but I always have him in this really fucked up Halloween mask. And he can't really see out of them. And he'll take them off and it's just dripping sweat. It's just the things he does for me.
Tell him he's not allowed to take it off. He's like Mickey Mouse in Disney World. He's in character.
He is good in it. He's such a good actor. But I'm also really lucky to do this with one of my best friends of over 10 years. His name is Saeed Del Diaz. We've been creating visual art together since it feels like since we were kids, because we were. And it's fun to still be doing this with him and growing together creatively after all these years. He is incredible with Photoshop, and he just makes everything look more elevated than a Halloween store mask has any right to be.
Yeah. Gosh, Candice, you're amazing. You have said it all for today. I mean, you just inspire us. You're a great friend, but like your artistry is just blowing us away right now. My God. Are you in the mood to play a song?
Absolutely. I'm going to play Exorcist for you because it was the first song I wrote for Demonology. This song is called Exorcist, and it's the first song I wrote for my EP, Demonology Part 1. Is it blasphemy to have a sense of humor? I picture my own funeral sometimes when I get bored. I think about my family sharing one fucked up computer I used for playing solitaire and sometimes watching porn. I always assumed I only liked boys, but now I'm not sure. And the first time anyone touched me, they didn't ask me first. Now I need more than a therapist. I think I need an exorcist. It feels like my head is spinning around. I'm up on the ceiling and I can't come down. I'm up on the ceiling, high up on the ceiling. I had a set of Bible story VHS tapes my mother made me watch to balance out the other shows. And all the girls I knew from school were cool and dressing sexy in their halter tops and clear lip gloss and Abercrombie clothes. The human mind is a bullshit time machine. You can travel back in time, but you can't change anything. Now I need more than a therapist. I think I need an exorcist. It feels like my head is spinning around.
up on the ceiling and I can't come down, and I've got to deal with my personal demons. It's not their fault, they're up all night screaming. They didn't ask to be born, and neither did I. God, I feel like throwing up. I'm getting old, but I'm not growing up. So bring me a ladder and help me out. I'm up on the ceiling and I can't come down. I'm up on the ceiling, high up on the ceiling. I'm up on the ceiling and I can't come